Welcome back to Banfield. Americans waging war against their own country. It is rare, but it does happen. Take, for instance, the case of the Kansas mom of 5. Raised on the farm, like the girl next door, even started teaching. But somehow along the way, Allison Fluke-Ekren lost the plot. Because the United States government now says that wholesome Kansas flower was actually plotting to kill as many college kids on an American campus as a high-powered magazine could. And she wasn't working alone, allegedly. They say that she was leading a group of other women hell-bent on killing Americans. The alleged plot? To open fire on American malls and campuses, and for good measure, they say Allison, Mrs. Kansas, was training people to blow themselves up for maximum effect, maximum carnage, maximum death count. Can't get worse, right? Yes, it can. They say one of her suicide students was her very own daughter. So what happened to Allison? I'm joined by Linda Hogan, who knew Allison back then. Linda, it's just almost unfathomable that the girl we're looking at in the pictures ended up being the person we see in the mugshot and the person that we read about in the complaint. I can imagine it's even more unfathomable for you because you know her.
Yes, it's shocking. It's not shocking to see it now because myself and another very close friend of hers, we've understood this for a very long time. We thought that she was possibly dead or in hiding somewhere in Syria, possibly Libya, even possibly Turkey, just hiding out. So, to find out that she's alive and well, so to speak, that's the more shocking part, I guess.
So as I understand it, Linda, she was captured in Syria. She was flown back to Virginia just last month to face charges. It's just, I'm looking at the picture and I can't even see the same person that was this cute, girl with the braces in Kansas. But what kind of person was she when she was, your friend?
So the person she was amazing mom. She was loving. She kept her kids close. She, one time when I was at her house, we had all our kids there and she was making a homemade Chex Mix because she wanted them to have a healthy snack. She was highly educated. She has her master's degree. She was very focused on education, focused on educating her children. I would say she was a parent that probably, kind of free spirit, wasn't really caught up in rules and regulations for her kids. So yeah, she was just really sweet, quiet, but almost, I don't know how to, sometimes she was so intelligent that it was hard to hold a conversation with her. She just was kind of quiet and conversation always didn't flow with her. Yeah.
Well, so it's fascinating that you say that she's, got a master's, well educated, and yet wasn't, so super rules oriented. She ended up rising through the ranks of the terrorist group ISIS to become a battalion commander. It just keeps, the hits keep coming. Did she ever say anything anti-American? Did she ever indicate anything that would give any red flags that she was kind of headed, this direction?
Not to me before she left the United States, but while in Egypt, she did start making some comments to a mutual friend of ours, and that friend became very suspicious and very worried about her, to the point of asking some other friends in our Kansas Muslim community to reach out to her and just check on her and see if she was okay.
So let me ask you this. The allegations say that she, ran this terrorist training school, and yes, by 2012, or since 2012, has trained more than 100 women and girls to use assault rifles or become suicide bombers. she gave birth to her 5th child. She'd been overseas. She came back. But there are allegations that she's married many times and each husband maybe sequentially is killed, in the kind of line of work they do. Do you have any idea how many kids she actually has? And do we know the whereabouts of them all?
So I know for sure that she has 5 children. I don't know if the 2 last husbands she had that were jihadists and mujahideen for the Islamic State, I don't know if she birthed any children with them. But I do know that the 6th and 7th child were twins. Never seen them, never seen pictures of them. Her oldest son left Egypt at 14. He decided that he didn't want to live there anymore, and she threw him a party. She was very sad. He was leaving to go home to Kansas to live with his father, but she allowed it, and she was, okay with it. And then her daughter with her first husband, who is American and not Muslim American. That daughter, I believe, is missing. She would be roughly 24, probably. She's missing. And I don't know if the family knows of her whereabouts, but her friends definitely do not know where that daughter is. And then the oldest daughter with her husband, Volkan, which, his name is on the news and he is the person in the pictures that people have been seeing. He's Turkish, and he actually didn't know much about his religion, about Islam. She's the one that became very interested in Islam and taught him more about his religion. And my ex-husband actually taught him some things about his religion. So she was very much the one in charge of their relationship. She was just a tad bit older than him. She was already a mother to 2 when she met him at KU. And so she very much led that relationship. It was not the other way around.
There's another piece of information that just floored me, and that was that her 15-year-old daughter may have been the one who informed on her that this 15-year-old told CBS News that she was 6 months pregnant at 15, that the husband that she had at 15 had been killed. Do you know anything about this 15-year-old and how the informing might have happened?
So I know that her daughter, the 15-year-old, who is now 18, in 2019, I saw a news article on, I think it was ABC News, that she was on there. And she said, I think my mom's in Kansas. I've walked from Aleppo to Raqqa because they heard that the Kurds had toppled the Islamic State stronghold in Raqqa, and that she had walked there with a group of women, and she just wanted to go home, and that her husband had been killed, her father had been killed, and one of her brothers had been killed in Syria. And she was pregnant, and that's the last we heard. So we assumed that she came home to Kansas and probably went through an extensive program of, deprogramming her and giving information to the State Department. And so we believe now that she's 18, she's able to, testify against her mom, the things that she knows.
Wow. That's going to be a hell of a trial. Linda Hogan, thank you so much for coming on and trying to shed some light on just what is nothing short of an absolute mystery, how someone can turn out like that. Yeah. And I'm sorry that you've lost your friend, too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Linda Hogan joining us tonight on a story we're definitely going to follow. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.